Hi guys. So the first thing I want to say is yes, I'm still sick. I don't know why I haven't been able to shake this thing. Secondly, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been listening to Say It Loud, visiting the website, streaming us on Apple and Spotify. I check the analytics every day and we're growing. My little podcast is growing. And so I just want to say thank you all for being so supportive and for listening to me. So I today I was gonna have a guest on with me, and I might still do that. Have another segment later with another guest. But for today, I actually wanted to do the talking because it seems to me like you guys like when I'm doing the talking based on the analytics. And today I wanted to talk about weak bitch tendencies. But before we do that, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, I'm not using the term bitch as like, oh my gosh, she's a bitch, I can't stand her. I'm just saying like women in general and how we're referred to in certain types of communities and you know what you do is fucked up, so you might be considered a bitch. So I don't want anyone to take offense to what I'm saying or, you know, reaching for it. I also will probably use the term nigga. Which I know I get at the kids at school all the time for saying, because it's not how we should be talking and speaking to each other. But for the sake of this discussion today, the term nigga will be referred to as a male, who, as a male, that's it. So yeah, so today we're talking about weak bitch tendencies. And you're probably asking yourself, what is a weak bitch tendency? There are a number of weak bitch tendencies out here, and I'm telling from woman to woman what I think is a weak bitch tendency. Now, gentlemen, I hope you're listening to this because you, in fact, may have a weak bitch. And you may realize some of her tendencies and her behaviors, and like, oh shit, that's a weak bitch tendency. And throughout the season, we may have this discussion for a number of weak bitch tendencies. But today we're going to focus on one particular tendency, right? So, ladies, when you are younger and you're at 19, 18, 19, 20, 21 dating a guy, you know, your weak bitch tendencies are out there and they're full on, head on strong, okay? And that's because you don't know how to carry yourself. You haven't learned how to, you know, hold your emotions together. And there's older women too, but I'm going to say y'all younger women first because that's when I had my weak bitch tendencies, right? When I was younger and I didn't know I was being a weak bitch and I didn't know like I was a dumb motherfucker and I didn't know like this is not how you're supposed to carry yourself and conduct yourself in certain situations. So yes, I in fact have been a weak bitch with weak bitch tendencies. The thing is, A, y'all got me to tell you don't do that. And B, you grow out of it. Hopefully, some people grow out of it. Most people do, some people don't. Anyhow, today we're talking about weak bitch tendencies. And the weak bitch tendency I want to talk about is women trapping men or bitches trapping niggas. Either way you want to put it, that's what we're talking about today. Because I personally think that trapping a man, and yes, there's men that do foul shit to women. I'm not going to say that they don't, and dudes, I'll get at you in a different episode. But for this particular episode, I think that you trapping a man or using any leverage you have to hold a man is a weak bitch tendency. Let me say that again. Y'all ain't hear me though. I think that's just me. It's my opinion. You can go ahead, message me, DM me, whatever you want to say, and argue your point. Don't be disrespectful, but you can argue your point. But I think that any woman who considers herself a goddess, a spiritual woman, a grown ass woman, a bad bitch, bad and bougie, whatever you want to, however you want to enlighten yourself and raise yourself up on a pedestal, if that is in fact you, then you don't need to use any leverage to hold any man. If you are so much of that, of all of these beautiful things, like I made the table, it's my table, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a bad motherfucker, I'm running a business, I own this. If you are that empowered as a woman, then you don't need to use any leverage to hold a man. You won't need to. I'm 41 years old. I was married for 10 years. I used to tell my husband at the kitchen table, like, yo, and I used to check in with him, and I used to be like, any day you don't want to do this, you ain't got to do this no more. You ain't got to do this no more. Nobody's forcing you to be here. Nobody's forcing you to be here. And I just think it's a weak bitch tendency if you are forcing, listen to me now, forcing somebody to be with you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you forcing anyone other than your children, and they're yours? You gotta have them to be with you. And I just don't get that. There's women that are out here, and if you're listening, those women, I'm not knocking you. I'm saying be reflective. Be reflective on who you are. And gentlemen, if you are in these situations, and I'm gonna get at y'all on a different episode for other things. But in this particular case, if a woman is holding you hostage with leverage, okay, so y'all are like, what's leverage? If the apartment that y'all live in, she's gonna tell you, if you're not with me or you do this, I'm gonna kick your ass out, nigga, get out. That's leverage. If she's saying, well, if you're not gonna be with me and you're not gonna do whatever I tell you to do and live the way I tell you to live, then you can't drive the car. Get out. It's not your car, nigga. She don't have to share with you. You using it as leverage, sis. You don't have to share that shit with him. I drove a Benz when I was 20-something years old. My husband said, be like, can I borrow your car? I'd be like, for what? You got a car. And if you don't have a car, it's your fucking problem. I'll help you get a car, but you're not taking my shit. Oh, and then there's the babies. That's the biggest one. There are women out here who have, in fact, tried to trap a man with a baby. Intentionally knowing that y'all relationship is not in a space to be procreating, or that this man flat out told you, like, I don't want this, but you did it intentionally, so now you have leverage to force this person to stay with you. And babies are a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that they're not. And I'm not saying there aren't relationships that haven't worked after that. There have been. All I'm saying is that you got to reflect back on your life. And am I doing this wholeheartedly, or is this a weak bitch tendency? Am I doing this because I want what I want so fucking bad that I'm going to use everything that I have to hold this person hostage in my life? Why the fuck is you doing that? If you the same person saying you a goddess, you a bad bitch, you doing this, you built the motherfucking table, you did that. Like, if you is all of those things, then you don't have to fucking convince nobody to be with you. I don't fucking convince nobody to be with me. Nobody. My mom come to my house and she tired of my shit and she want to leave. I tell her, go ahead. I'll see you later. Matter of fact, I got grown kids, and I know there be times they be like, okay, Mom, I'll talk to you later. They don't want to hear my shit. I get it. Sometimes they need a break from it. But you don't have to at any point. That just, to me, like, that's a weak bitch tendency. Like, you purposely gonna be doing shit to hold a nigga hostage. Now, don't get it wrong. I've been there. I've been in situations where I was younger and I didn't know any better, and I thought that that's how you're supposed to love someone. And I'm gonna do this, and then he gonna be with me because I wanted what I wanted so fucking bad that I would have used whatever pieces I had to have somebody be with me. I've been there. I'm not gonna say I ain't never been there. I've been a stupid bitch too. But what I'm saying is that you level up and you smart up, and then thank God I'm able to share that information and be that vulnerable with somebody else to be like, yo, this is not what you need to do. You holding this person hostage and they don't want to be with you. Now imagine that. Imagine being a baby, right? And you feeding them oatmeal. I fucking hate oatmeal, by the way. I just don't like the texture. Like, I like the smell of it, but I don't like the texture. I'm a texture person. I don't like oatmeal. And somebody force feeding you oatmeal and you don't like it. That's the same thing you doing when you force somebody to be with you that don't want to be with you. And you use your leverage to say, okay, well, I'm going to use what I have and force this person to be with me because this is what I want so badly. If somebody don't want to be with you, guess what? Let them go. Let them go. And it don't matter who it is. Let them go. Forcing people to, it's the same thing. And this doesn't just apply to relationships, although you see it more in relationships. It's the same thing with your fucking friends. If you are using leverage to be friends with people or to hold people to be friends in your life or to do things for you, then you're not a good friend and you're fucking around with your friendships. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want someone to be my friend because of leverage, because of what I could do for them or what they're gonna hold over my head. I hate when people fucking hold things over my head. In fact, I got so much motherfucking pride that if you're gonna hold shit over my head, don't fucking do it for me. Don't do it for me. But like, we need to be looking as women as what our weak bitch tendencies are. Like, why are we trapping niggas? It's 2020. Like, a nigga supposed to try to trap you. A man is supposed to be like, let me lock this woman down. And dudes, don't be using babies to lock women down, by the way. We'll talk about it another day. But don't be using a baby to lock a woman down. Use a ring to lock a woman down. Go to City Hall and lock a woman down. Don't be using no baby to lock a woman down. Matter of fact, women, let's get into the next thing, talking about weak bitch tendencies. Women, it's 2020, and I'm talking to the grown-ass women out here, because I'm grown. I'm 41 years old. I'm grown, but I'll talk to you younger ladies, too, if you want to listen. And dudes, you need to listen, because you have daughters, and you have women in your life, and they might have weak bitch tendencies, or they might need to be enlightened. Share this shit with them. It's 2020, ladies, since we're talking about babies and people using babies as leverage. Grown-ass women who are fucking need to carry condoms. Don't be putting that shit on, oh, well, he didn't have a condom, and so I got pregnant because, we didn't have nothing. Bitch, you know how old you is. You know that there's a potential chance of you fucking the dude you was chilling with. Or you're just the type of person that goes out and meet a dude and fucks. I'm not judging you. It's fine. But if you're going to be that, don't be that and be a weak bitch. Embody that. Embrace that. And then carry the shit you need to carry around to be responsible for your own motherfucking life. And I'm keeping it 100. I don't care what you do as a woman. I don't judge you. I've had friends from the full gambit, right? That'll go out one night and be like, yo, I seen a dude, I met him, I like him, I'm going home with him, I'm gonna fuck him tonight. Okay, sis, be safe. Call us when you get there. If you need anything, holla at me. And I've had women on the other side of things like, no, I'm gonna wait till marriage. That's fine. I don't judge any of my friends. I don't judge any other people around me. That's your personal decision. However, young ladies and old ladies for that matter, you need to embody who the fuck you is and stop using the roles as being like, well, it's the guy's job to carry condoms. No, bitch, if you want to fuck, it's your job to carry condoms too. And it's your job to be responsible for your life too, so that you don't end up in a situation where you're like, yo, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. That's your responsibility. Take care of yourself. That's how your mama supposed to have raised you. And I know you're asking me, well, Karen, what do you do? And I said, I'm not the type of woman that goes out and just makes a sporadic decision like that. I don't operate like that. But in the event that I do need to be responsible and I do know what's going to go down because, I'm an adult, then I make the decisions as such. And I carry myself as such and I be responsible as such. If you can't have that conversation with yourself, then perhaps you shouldn't be fucking nobody. Now, let's get back to weak bitch tendencies. So if you are using any of your leverage, ladies, to hold a man in a relationship with you who has shown you, not what he says, because some of the dudes, I get it, ladies. I know what I'm saying. Some of these dudes will say that they want to be with you and then talk the talk and then they walk in a different walk. I'm talking about his actions. Watch his actions. Don't watch what he say. Watch his actions. If the man is giving you actions that he don't want to be with you, if he out here doing whatever he doing, if he going MIA, if he not giving you the woman first, trust your gut. You know what the fuck is going on. If he done switched up his behavior on you and you think there's somebody else, then you need to be like, okay, let me cut this shit off. Not let me use the leverage that I have and force this man into a situation. Not let me intentionally get pregnant knowing damn well this fool out here acting a goddamn muck. Knowing damn well you paying for shit that you don't need to be paying for. Like, come on, ladies. Come on. And I'm not saying these men are innocent. I'm not saying that. I know there's a lot of dudes doing a lot of dirty, grimy shit too. But I'm not talking to them today. I'm talking to y'all. And I'm talking about weak bitch tendencies because you don't want to be a weak bitch. You cannot be sitting here talking about I'm an empowered woman, I'm an educated woman, I'm a smart woman, I'm a strong woman. And then you putting yourself in a situation where you're doing weak bitch shit. Because what's going to happen when you do that, even if that man chooses to stay with you, and I'm going to keep it 100. Even if and I have some dudes on the show if you want to talk about this, because you know my dudes love to holler at me. If you choose to do that, and that man chooses to stay with you because he's like, nah, I'm having a kid, I want to do the right thing. It has happened. And some relationships work. I'm not going to say they haven't. But if you choose to do that, just know that you forced somebody in a situation that they didn't want to be in. What you are supposed to be is a butterfly, a flower, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, to the point where someone is so mesmerized by who you are, so in love with who you are, that they don't want to leave you, that they don't want to, that you don't have to force them into any situation. You don't have to convince them to be the person in your life. But when you take that away from someone, and it could be male or female because dudes do it too. When you take that away from someone, now you've taken the opportunity for them to do that and be that to you. And what happens? They're going to walk around with resentment. They're going to walk around with resentment. Even if they don't cheat, even if they don't, they're going to say, I never wanted this. I never want to be the person in somebody's life that they turn around at some point in their life and be like, I never wanted that. I never wanted that. I never wanted her. I never want to be that. How fucked up is that? Seriously, how fucked up is that? That you so in love with someone and the person you so in love with gonna turn around and be like, yo, I never wanted this shit. That will hurt. It will actually hurt, ladies, more than if you just cut that person loose. Wow, right? That shit just got real. Let them go. And if it's meant to be, it will be. If it's not meant to be, it won't be. Sometimes people need shaking up and they need to understand how real shit is for them to understand, like, yo, I might lose this person. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to have weak bitch tendencies and use behaviors that are, immature, because that's really what it is. It's just that we leading with our emotions and leading with our hearts that are leading with our brain. And sometimes it's hard to make the connection between the two, right? Because our heart be leading our emotions. And that's why I say when you're younger, it's a lot worse. And the reason it's a lot worse, and let me put my teaching cap on. The reason when you're younger it's a lot worse is because this is a true fact. You can go Google it or read about it. Your prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. And so that's why people who are younger, in their teenage years and their early 20s, is when that part of your brain fully develops. It's the last part of your brain to develop. And that's how people end up making irrational decisions based on their emotions. Because the part of your brain that manages your emotions and manages consequence or feelings are not at the same place at the same time at that part in your life. And so, kids tend to do things, or younger people tend to do things and not really realize what the consequences are, what they're doing, or it not be thought through because they're still dealing with the emotional part of it. And that rational part of their brain has not fully developed yet. And it's crazy because there's adults in relationships and having babies and making decisions like this at an adult level because they're an adult body and they can, but that part of their brain is not fully developed. And so there is consequences to it, and people don't think it through, and then they're stuck in whatever situation they're stuck in. What I'm saying, as a grown-ass woman, talking to the other women out here, good, bad, or indifferent, because I love y'all and I'm enlightening y'all, that's why I'm having this conversation, is that you don't need to use your leverage in any way. You don't need to use your leverage. You don't need to convince anyone at any time to fucks with you. You don't. Maybe your employer, because you want to get the promotions and things like that. But I'm talking on a personal level or a romantic level. And if you feel like you need to use leverage, then you need to reflect on the type of person that you are. Why aren't people gravitating towards you? Why can't you meet someone? What are you putting out there? What's your aura like? What's your energy like? Why is this man not giving you the relationship you want? Maybe you need to have a conversation with him, right? And instead of playing the games and using the leverage to hold somebody, why not really find out what they feel? And if it works for you, fine. Let it work for you and say, okay, great, that works for us. Let's make the next move. And if it doesn't work for y'all, say, okay, fine. I think a lot of times we want to force what we want so badly, or we want to make what we want work so badly that we're willing to use whatever we got to mold to put a key in a doorknob that it don't fit in. And then we end up in situations later and we're like, yo, why the fuck did that happen that way? But we need to be reflective, right? especially as women, because we raising the kids. Our lives are the ones that are impacted. Our bodies are the ones that are impacted. So why are we not paying attention to that? And what we putting out there and what we giving back? So this is what I want to say. Yes, there are still grown women that have weak bitch tendencies. There's a lot of weak bitch tendencies. We probably gonna go through them over the course of the season, and you're gonna hear me talk to you. And you're probably not gonna like it if it's you. But you ain't got to tell nobody it's you. You just got to be reflective and make the changes in yourself. And if it's not you and you feel like you need to share this with somebody else, then go ahead and share this with somebody else. Gentlemen, if you're listening, you need to look at the woman in your life and be like, does this woman I'm fucking with have a weak bitch tendency? And am I being held hostage in a situation that's unhealthy for me? Because a lot of people don't realize that. You also need to look at what you're putting into the situation why this woman is behaving this way. Don't think y'all innocent. Y'all not. Not all the time. Some people are. Some people not. I don't know. I don't know your personal situation. Feel free to get at me and send me a voicemail if you want particular advice. But, you need to look at the relationship that you're in and why this woman's behaving like that with you too. And if this is something she was born into and this is what we learn as women, or if your behaviors are leading her to behave like this, you got to be reflective too. You got to be reflective about the shit you in. It's somebody holding you hostage and using their leverage against you, gentlemen. And if this is not what you want, what the fuck is you going to do about it? You going to wait till what? Wait till you spend 10, 15 years with somebody, and then realize, well, it's not that bad. It's not what I really wanted, but it's not that bad. But if you're carrying resentment for someone or you're mistreating them because you're in that situation, that's not healthy either. And they don't deserve that. All right. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, you ain't got to tell nobody if you got a weak bitch tendency. I'm going to come back with a couple more weak bitch tendencies we could talk about because we all need to be better bitches, including myself. And yeah, give me some feedback on this. Let me know what you think. Holla at your girl. You can go to the website at www.safeloud.com. You can go to Apple Podcast. You can go to Spotify. You can find me just about anywhere. And if all of those fail, you can go to I am Karanelle on Instagram and be ready for my Friday fuckery. We keeping it all the way 100. I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Let's see what we got up next. All right? How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started. Wait, there's more. Alright, so boom. So we talking about weak bitch tendencies. And I already told you one of the weak bitch tendencies. I got another weak bitch tendency for you. And like I said, there's going to be plenty of these and we're going to be getting at them a lot. But we're going to break down some of them. So next week, bitch tendency. And again, when you do this when you're young, you're young and you're passionate and your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. And, you're doing it out of anger and spite and whatever the case may be because you haven't developed your emotions to control your emotions yet. But when you're a grown-ass woman, it's just tacky and distasteful, okay? Weak bitch tendency. If your man is cheating on you, and, it happens. I understand. It happens to the best of us. Your man is cheating on you, and you find out who he's cheating with, and you go to this woman's house to fight. Weak bitch tendency. And let me tell you why it's a weak bitch tendency. Okay, we're not doing that. It's 2020. We're not doing that. We're not fighting over no dick. We're not fighting over no dick. There's enough dick out here going around being offered to you, ladies, where you don't need to fight anybody for it. Not to mention the fact that you don't know what that dude been telling that woman. Women always do this shit. Oh, well, you knew he was with me. Bitch, he out here telling people he ain't with you. He's telling people you just his baby moms. He's telling people y'all not together. Okay, so you don't know what that man is telling that other woman. You're going there and fighting the wrong person. You need to fight your man. And I'm not even saying fight your man because we're not with that shit either. But I'm just saying if you was going to fight anybody, You need to fight your man. Keeping it 100, keeping it real, telling you 100% like your big sis. Okay, we are a bunch of grown-ass women. A couple months ago, one of my friends found out some shit in her man phone. And gonna call me up and be like, yo, okay, we gotta go handle something, get dressed. I was like, get dressed? Like, you know me, I'm team overdressed. What we putting on? And, cause, I'm always, okay. She's like, nah, we got fucking beef. Like, go get dressed. Like, throw on some Timbs and shit and some black jeans and a black turtleneck, pull your hair back. And we gonna go handle some shit. And I was in the back of the car. I did get dressed. And I didn't, like, throw on my Timbs or nothing like that. But, I got in the back of the car and I was like, yo, we not going to do this. And she was like, nah, that bitch mad disrespectful, la, 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 la. And I understood where she was coming from with her emotions and her feelings and her man and all that kind of stuff. I understood it because I've been there. I understood it. But I was sitting in the back of the car going like, damn, I'm a whole fucking teacher. I have a municipal job. If I get arrested, I got to make certain phone calls because so many people cover my ass. Like, I gotta let this person know. I gotta let that person know. I gotta fucking deal with this. I'm a whole fucking grandma. I got kids. My son gotta go to school in the morning. Like, yo. And I was just sitting there like, yo, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Like, I understand your emotion. If you want to sit here and talk to me, talk this shit out. You want to say you need a partner to be like, yo, let's bust a bottle over that nigga car. Like, see that shit. I might be down for that. I might be down. I might flatten some time. I might be down for that shit. But to go fucking start a whole fucking ruckus and be a bunch of grown-ass women with titties flying out over some nigga who gonna be sitting there probably smiling because he love all the fucking attention. No! That's weak bitch tendencies. That's weak bitch tendency. That little girl shit. We don't do that. We're grown-ass women. Nigga, you want to cheat, you out. That's it. Boom. That's it. That's it. Going over there and fighting some woman. We got kids and shit now, too, in front of our kids or any of that foolishness. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to see nobody. No, but I don't need nobody fucking key in my Benz. Like, no. We're not doing that, ladies. It's 2020. We're not doing that. That is a weak bitch tendency. Because you being weak. You just you falling into the bullshit. You falling into the trap. That's some fucking bullshit. That's drama. We don't do drama. We don't do drama. I understand how if you want to go over there, let the nigga know you there. Like, okay, I just came to make sure you was where I dropped you off at. I seen you at, I just want to make sure that you know that I know where you at. I don't have a problem with that. I've done some dumb shit too. Sometimes there's been times where people call me a bluff and I had to fucking show up just in case, just so you know that I ain't scared. But the whole fighting and the bullshit like that, nah. Weak bitch tendency. Trapping niggas, weak bitch tendency. Leveling up cause a nigga, sorry ladies, I'm a hater. Weak bitch tendency. You can't sit up here and be like, yo, I'm a divine power that God has created woman and we gonna do all this beautiful things and I'm majestic and I'm at peace and I'm aligning my chakras and all that shit. You can't be saying all that and then be doing weak bitch shit. You can't be doing that. The strength of a woman, the real strength of a woman is being like, yo, fuck you. I'm keeping it 100. That's the real strength. Being able to be like, you know what, nigga? Fuck you and your bullshit. And your bullshit ass whatever. And that's that. Anything else out of pocket, anybody, ladies, that make you gotta get out of character is not supposed to be in your life. Anybody that got you doing weak bitch shits don't need to be in your life. They knocking you down. And you need to check yourself and be like, is this a weak bitch move? You need to do that. You really need to check yourself and be like, yo, is this a weak bitch move? Because I've been there. I've done weak bitch shit too. I'm not going to say I haven't. But now I really sit back and be like, yo, did this nigga really get me out of pocket? And if that's the case, I'm not fucking with you. Period. Like, every time I talk to you, I'm out of pocket. We're not talking no more. Every time I fuck with you, you fuck me over, I'm not fucking with you no more. But you gotta look at yourself really hard and be like, yo, is this or is this not a weak bitch tendency? What am I doing in this situation? How am I doing it? What am I And how am I going to carry myself in a way or deal with this in a way where I'm not degrading myself? Because really, at the end of the day, the weak bitch tendencies, if you listen to what I'm saying, are anything that make you have to degrade the character of the woman that you are. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what, and it takes evolution to get there, right? So we're not knocking no sis that's still there. What we saying is that here's somebody dropping some knowledge on you so you can level up. And gentlemen that are listening to me, you need to look at your daughters and your sisters and your mothers and your aunts and your uncles and be like, yo, that's some weak bitch tendency y'all doing over there. You got weak bitch tendencies. You need to listen to this fucking podcast. Hear what she got to say. Because this is not what we're doing. It's not how we handling our relationship. It's not how we handling our kids. It's not how we handling the way we move. We're not moving with them type of tendencies. Anything that made me get out of character, I'm not fucking with it. You know? I know as women, there's a lot of situations that we be in where mentally and emotionally, you know, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna say that it's not. Especially raising children, going to work, you know, the everyday woman who's hustling, trying to just hold it all together and still get dinner on the table. I get it. Not only do I get it, I live it. But what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna be out here, you know, getting beat down, putting ourselves in situations where we embarrassing ourselves, where we become weak, so weak to our own self. Because that's really what happened when I say weak, but honestly, you so weak to your own damn self and your own emotions. You haven't disciplined yourself to your own emotions that now you're out here out of pocket, out of character, because of what somebody else did. That should be enough to let you know who comes in and who comes out your circle, and what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. Because those very same women who are in those situations at times will be like, yo, I'm gonna take this nigga back. Weak bitch tendency. Been there. Well, I'm gonna do what's best for my kids. Been there. Weak bitch tendency. Because now you're teaching people how to treat you. You're teaching the same motherfucker that's hurting you and got you out of pocket and out of character and put you in this situation how to treat you. So now I know I don't really gotta do much because, you know, I know what I'm gonna get away with. Weak bitch tendency. And we convince ourselves sometimes that you're not being weak. I'm going to just do what's best. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to do what my mama want me to do, my cousin, my aunts, my, you know, whatever the case. However you convince yourself that that's the best thing for you. But sometimes in doing that, that's a weak bitch tendency too. Because you're only telling yourself the shit you want to hear. Then when your best friend tell you something, or your aunt, or even fucking me, then it's like, nah, I don't like that bitch. She jealous. She mad. She this. She that. No, I just told you something you didn't like. Because you didn't want to hear it. It's not even that you didn't like it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want somebody being real with you. You don't want somebody telling you what's best for you. You think you know what's best for you. And so you convince yourself of what you want to hear. Weak bitch tendency. And don't say, Karen, how do you deal with that? Yo, I got some shooters in my on my team. And I love them to death. The male and female. And the reason that I love them is they keep it 100 with me. They'll be like, Karen, I don't agree. You should do this. You should do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Like, those are the people I need on my team. Those are the people I need around. That's going to keep it 100 with me. That's going to keep it honest. Not hurtful. Because honesty don't got to always hurt. But it got to be real. You know? If you smiling up in your face friend and you know they suffering and you know some shit about them and you don't say nothing, that's a weak bitch tendency. That is a weak bitch tendency. I'm telling you right now, if I go out, all the dudes that listen to me, and you fuck with any of my friends, if I go out and I see you with the next bitch, I'm taking fucking pictures and I'm texting them shits right away. Like, yo, here's my location right now. This is where this dude is right now. And yeah, I love my friends. I know it's gonna hurt, but I'm not a weak bitch. And I'll take the L if it means it's gonna save her later on. She can either text me back, Kay, mind your business, and that's fair. Or she could be like, thanks, girl, I'm coming. Or I'll deal with it later. None of my business after that. But you're damn straight, I'm telling. Because if you sit there and somebody you care about, really care about, and you watch that shit, then you're a weak bitch for doing that. I don't want to get involved. That's fucked up. How you love somebody and you don't do that shit for them? And I'm not just talking about like your girls you go drink with. I'm talking about like your niggas, like your real peoples. Like we was crying together, peoples. We was at the hospital when you had baby peoples. The people in your wedding. Fuck that. I'm telling. Them my niggas. There ain't no weak bitch shit over here. But some people won't say nothing. Weak bitch tendency. So, Karen, what are your thoughts on how a man deals with a woman with weak bitch tendencies? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. You got to deal with your woman and what you're willing to deal with your woman, and whatever her tendency is. I don't know what her tendency is. Like she could have a number of different weak bitch tendencies. She could have one. What are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to tolerate? Is it abusive behavior to you? I don't know. You need to figure that out. But I will tell you that women who are abusive to men have a higher rate of weak bitch tendencies. That's why you're abusive. It's fucked up, right? But that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. More women with abusive behavior tend to have weak bitch tendencies. That's gonna be, he didn't come home last night. I'm throwing shit out the window. I'm carrying on. I'm keying the car. I'm antagonizing the baby mom. I'm just doing dumb, irresponsible, ignorant shit. Weak bitch tendencies. If that's the situation you're in, as a male, you gotta ask yourself, why is she acting like this? Is it something you did, or was she like this before? Because sometimes you guys don't take responsibility for shit you do, right? Is she acting like this because she doesn't trust you, or is she acting like this because she always act like this and she got her own insecurities? Oh yeah, insecurity, weak bitch tendency. That's a weak bitch tendency. And you grow into being secure. So I ain't knocking nobody. The woman I was at 20 is not the woman that I am at 40. I'm very confident now. I'm so confident that I'm at like Dave Chappelle levels and not giving a fuck. Right? And I got there after a lot of work on myself and looking at myself and accepting myself for exactly who the fuck I am. But women with insecurities, that's a weak bitch tendency. You can't sit here and be like, I'm all that, I bring this to the table, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then be insecure that your man is around somebody else, or your kids are around somebody else, or whatever the case may be, or that your place is gonna get lost, or your mom was nicer to somebody else and they were nicer to you. Like, all fucking insecure. Let me tell you how secure I am. I go to my parents' house and sometimes they have company and I leave. They were like, where you going? We have company. I'd be like, no, your company is here to be with you. I'll come back another time. Not every conversation, not everything in life is for me. That's how fucking confident I am about who the fuck I'm at. I've been to parties where I've been like, I'm leaving now. And they be like, where are you going? Like, you supposed to be. And I'm like, yo, that's not my thing. I came, I showed my face. That's how fucking confident I am. I roll dolo. That's how fucking confident I am. Don't be nobody with me. I know women that are not confident. They say, no, I'm a confident woman. Yo, if every time you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta take somebody with you, you're not confident. If you go into a room and you feel like, oh my God, everybody's looking at me, you're not confident. But fucking, I be going outside dead ass looking like a fucking bum. And then there's other days I suit up. It just depends on my fucking mood. And any day that it depends on my mood, you're gonna get what you get. But guess what? I'm so fucking confident that nobody's gonna say shit. And if they did, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. What are you gonna say? My hair wasn't done? It wasn't. Sometimes it be like that. But being confident isn't just about what you look like. That's what people don't seem to understand. Like, being a confident woman isn't just about, what I look like. You know what I mean? There's a lot of women that are beautiful that are not confident, and there's also a lot of women that are not beautiful who are very confident. You got to figure out where that is for you. But 9 times out of 10, a woman that got weak bitch tendencies, she's not confident. Even if she puts on the persona of being a confident woman, it's just a persona. It's fake. Because if you was that secure of who you are as a woman, you wouldn't be acting out like this. There's a lot of women out here also talking about, I'm a grown-ass woman. Okay. But if you're not acting like a grown-ass woman, Then what is that called? Weak bitch tendencies. You just saying it. You're just saying it to hear yourself say it. But are you in fact acting like a grown ass woman? Because if you're not, then you displaying tendencies of a weak bitch. And I'm not knocking women. This is not a podcast to sit here and knock women. I am saying this because somebody needs to be your aunt and your sister and pinch you and be like, yo, get your shit together, straighten up your back, stand up firm, poke your titties out, pop your ass out, and handle your shit. Sometimes this is just going to be reflection when somebody need to reflect with you in the morning about whatever it is because you ain't been feeling the way you need to feel. And somebody need to put that battery in your back and be like, yo, sis, you got it. The beautiful thing about this is that anytime you listen to it, you don't got to tell nobody, or you can tell somebody and share it. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to take from it what I need to take from it, and I'm going to make the changes that I need to make in my life about who I am. It'll probably be good to listen to this podcast, and then I record another one after this, and I drop it about aligning your chakras and your energies. Because a lot of who we are, and as we grow, has to do with how we perceive ourselves and how we meditate and what we allow in our circle, what we don't allow in our circle, and how we grow within ourselves. Because then, once you start growing in yourself, in all honesty, and I know it sounds like bullshit, but once you start growing in yourself and you get out of your weak bitch tendency stage, you kind of tend to flourish outside of that little box, and now it kind of spills over into other parts of your life, and then you can focus on the other things in your life that you need to focus on. It's crazy how that works, but it's true. There's also a lot of women that are like, you know what, I want to work, but I don't want to work. I want a career, but I don't want to work a career. Or I don't really have any ambition to have a real big career. Like, I'm going to just work at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever the fuck it is that I need to do, and like let this nigga do what he need to do, and he could kind of like, pull the weight. I don't know if that's a weak bitch tendency, but I personally don't like it. Right? You're your own entity, sis. You are your own entity. And you are going to be defined by the entity that you create for yourself. So, in that case, how do you want to be defined? What are the words that you want someone to use when they describe who you are? That's what you need to think about. And you don't want it to be a weak bitch with tendencies. You don't want it to be that. You don't want it to be that. If you can't do something, that's fine. Google, sis. Google. Learn how to do it. It's okay. But don't sit around waiting for somebody else to define who you are, because if other people define who you are, they're not just going to define, they're going to tell you who you is. You don't build your own box, somebody going to put you in theirs. And so as I've gotten older, I've learned not to be that, because that's a weak bitch tendency. You waiting for somebody else to tell you where you fit in. Fuck that. I don't need nobody else to tell me where I fit in. I make my own space. That's what you need to be thinking about. And it could be whatever space you choose it to be. I'm not telling you what that is. That could be just day to day. That could be how you walk. That could be how you talk, what you eat, how you take care of your kids, the relationship you have with your moms and your dad. I don't know. Your man, your friends. I don't know. But you got to define that. And not sit around and just be a weak bitch and let somebody else tell you what that is. Because then for the rest of your life, you're always going to be what everybody else wants you to be. Not what you define yourself to be or define yourself to be. So when you're talking about reflection and who I want to be and what I want to be, you got to think about that. Because your behavior and the things that you do define who you are. And if you out here acting a fool with like a weak bitch, then guess what? Exactly. That's exactly what you're going to be defined as. And it's fucked up to say, but it's the truth. There's a lot of people out here and they fronting and walking around like, they tough as nails and they hard as nails. And it's not about fighting, because I don't want to fucking fight nobody. I'm a grown ass fucking woman. I'm tired. But it's about being who you are and embodying who you are and understand what you represent. Understanding what you represent. And sometimes people think like, if I yell louder, that means I'm tougher. Or if I hit harder, that means I'm tougher. That's not what that means. That's weak bitch tendencies. There's a loud roar. Don't mean shit. It's you fucking roaring. We don't move like that. We don't move like that. And I'm sharing this with you because I feel like, and I'm going to get at the dudes because I know y'all listening. You're like, damn, Kay, you went hard on the ladies. You went hard on ladies. And I'm not really going hard in the sense that I'm knocking anybody down. Please understand that. I want you to listen to this and I want you to be like, damn, this sounds like so-and-so. I remember going through this. I remember going through that. I remember behaving like this. And then I leveled up. Or I heard the podcast and I was like, yo, you know what? You right. You right, Kay. We're gonna deal with things different. We're gonna move a lot different because that's how we get to where we're from. And if you listen to what the idea of this entire podcast was, it was to enlighten people and people like me. It was enlightening. It's enlightening people like me who come from one place and aspire to be at another place. Two totally different angles. But we got to make the steps to move. And part of being the steps of empowering women in particular, and you men, because I will empower you too, is for us to look at our own behavior and our own tendencies and our own actions and saying like, yo, should I still be doing this? Should I still be behaving like this? Like, how is this going to help me? How is this going to help me with my life? How is this going to deal with any other shit that I got to deal with? And then making the changes. A lot of people, even in their jobs, like, I don't mean to be mean, but like, we working in corporate environments, and it's already bad enough that like certain women can't even get jobs, or if we do get jobs, they're few and far between in certain corporate companies. And then on top of that, is sometimes it's sexualized. You gotta carry yourself in a certain way, and them weak bitch tendencies is not gonna work. That's not going to work. And take it from me. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. That's not going to work. You got to know when to turn that on and when to turn that off. And when there's a season in the life where this is over. We're not doing this anymore. That's the season, sis. This the season. Tis the season. To be like, yo, that part of life is over. We're not fucking with no shit like that. We're not doing that. We're not acting like that. Like, we ain't got no sense. We're supposed to be able to be in a place in our lives now where we can actually counsel somebody else, where we could support somebody else, where we could tell somebody else, like, yo, sis, follow me because I'm going to show you how to do it and get it done. That's where we're supposed to be. And gentlemen that's listening, it's not just the women. I'm going to get at y'all in another episode. But y'all also got to really realize, too, like, what you're dealing with as far as, like, these tendencies that women have. Because you play victim to it a lot of times. And you don't even know that you're a victim to it. You just be like, oh, that's just how she is. Or that's just the way I met her or whatever. And I like it. Until you don't like it no more. And then what? Until it's not healthy no more. And then what? Until your kid is behaving the same way. And then what? So you need to listen. And you need to realize where you fit into the equation as well. Because you do fit in there. You know what I'm saying? And it is important. It is important. Hold on, I'm going to go to this commercial right quick, and I'm going to come back at y'all.